postgraduate diploma in New Zealand, like, is your quick entry into New Zealand academic world. That is, if you want to come into academics, or even if you want to be in industry, just like your quick entry into New Zealand industry or academic world. University of Auckland Masters program costs between 36,000 New Zealand dollars per year. I did not say pounds. I did not say US dollars. I did not say euros. I said New Zealand dollars. So check against these currencies and see the one that and see the options that fits you best. Then AUT and Victoria University of Wellington are cheaper than the University of Auckland when it comes to master's program tuition fees. AUT is about 34,000. Victoria University is about 32,000 per year. Otago is there, Canterbury, Waikato. So you can actually check and see options that fit you most. Then for scholarships, University of Auckland will offer you like $10,000 International Excellence Scholarship if you're qualified. If your SOPs, your personal statements, your degrees are good. AUT postgraduate thought program can offer you up to 7,000 New Zealand dollars. Victoria University of Wellington postgraduate international program can offer you up to 10,000 New Zealand dollars. Same thing with Otago. All is towards your tuition. But then to get a scholarship, a master scholarship in New Zealand, for SOPs, your application has to be really strong because the competition is stiff. Everybody wants to get a scholarship. Like you see, the fees are high, so everybody is interested. Now, you also have to show. Now, this is just a tip. You might take it, you might not. For people who are interested in scholarship, you have to show what you've done. The world is changing, right? People now require you to say, okay, to show your portfolios. Have you done any research? Have you published? Can you at least publish your undergraduate thesis or a part of your undergraduate thesis? I have seen someone that published the method section of the undergraduate thesis, right? So do you have publications? If you don't have publications, that's like the number one thing after your transcript and your degree certificate and your language. That's the number one thing you should at least do. Put yourself together. It could be a conference that you've attended. It could be a conference proceeding. Put yourself together. Have at least one or two good publications. If you are going for maybe arts, creative arts, computer science, IT-related infrastructure, law, what is in your portfolio? Do you even have a portfolio? What is in your portfolio? What have you done? If you're interested in public health, you see, public health is one cause that people do not really understand. People do not know how important public health is. That's why everybody from the science or health science background will just say, I'm going to do a master's degree in public health. And when you ask them what aspect of public health, many people do not even know. What have you done as a person, right, to show that, okay, you have, like, what can you show that you've done that has helped the public, or that can show that you have the interest of the public at heart? No, that can even show that, okay, even after your master's degree, you can give back to the society. You always have to have a portfolio, always have an evidence, always have receipts to back up your application. That is how you apply for scholarships. Let's talk about the tuition fees. Look, guys, even if you don't get a scholarship, New Zealand is one of the cheapest places you can get a PhD. In New Zealand, the tuition for PhD in New Zealand is as per domestic rate for international students. So even if you don't get funding and you decide to pay your way through your PhD, you're going to pay you're going to pay domestic rates. For the University of Auckland, it's about 7,000 to 8,000 per year, not more than 9,000. 8,000 euros or pounds, New Zealand dollars per year. So imagine you're taking 20,000 or 25,000 euros to Europe for a PhD when you can, pay 8,000 New Zealand dollars per year and you have your PhD in this peaceful, very nice, very beautiful country with beautiful people. The next one, AUT, the same thing. AUT, Victoria University of Wellington, University of Otago, all of them is between 7,000 to 8,000 New Zealand dollars per year. And don't forget, if you're coming as a self-paying student, you have to pay these school fees before you apply for visa. So say you secure the admission today and you pay your school fees. Once your visa is out and you land in New Zealand, you start. Before this school year ends, you have to pay another school fees and apply for another visa. So you pay your school fees yearly before you apply for visa. Please, that clause is very, very important. It's only scholarship students that they give you visa for the duration of your scholarship. Sometimes not even up to for the duration of your program. So if they are going to give you visa as a scholarship student, if you get a scholarship, full funded scholarship, they'll give you 3 years visa because it's expected that your PhD is between 3 to 4 years. So anything within that 3 years you should be finishing, although there is option for extending your visas. So for scholarships, there are university scholarships ranging from 31,000 to about 35,000 per year, which includes tuition fees, your stipends, your health insurance. But some people do not cover health insurance, like AUT. Vice Chancellor's doctoral fellowship do not cover health insurance, if I'm correct. And so I think it's about 30 to 35,000 all across New Zealand. So depending on the school, the variation will not depend on the school. Maybe University of Auckland will be higher, Otago University scholarship will be lower, and things like that. But then there are international scholarship. You can get funding from your home country, which many people do, and the funding you get from your home country is really more than what you get from universities in New Zealand, right? So you can get funding from your home country. You can, if you're able to secure the Commonwealth scholarship, doctoral scholarship is very, very good, very, very good. So there are different ways you can secure scholarship. Now, even if you arrive in New Zealand as a fee-paying doctoral scholarship, maybe you may be able to access funding from your department, right? So if maybe they have departmental funding for a certain research, things like that, they are just discussions you should have with your supervisor and your program officer, letting them know that, okay, you be interested in a scholarship, if it's available, or some form of research funding to support your studies in New Zealand. Money, 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 money. Oh, people, they like money. Once someone is about finishing PhD, the next thing is money, money, money on my mind. You have suffered enough. We understand. So university postdoc roles. Salary is usually between, in New Zealand anyways, salary is usually between $75,000 per year to $95,000 per year, depending on your discipline and experience. So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it depends on the discipline. But then experience, yeah, you can't expect, or you shouldn't expect that someone that is in their 3rd year of a postdoctoral fellowship should be collecting the same amount as someone in their 1st year of postdoctoral fellowship. It happens in some cases, but in most cases it's different. So it usually depends on your experience. The one I don't understand is why it depends on the discipline, because after all, they all went through PhD and they are all qualified. So let's see. For the fellowships, the Royal Society Catalyst leaders, that is the ones that go to Japan, this Royal Society will sponsor you, right, as a postdoc to go to Japan to spend like between 12 to 24 months, cover your travel allowance, and they cover your monthly, expenses and everything. The next one is the HRC Pacific Health Research Postdoctoral Fellowship. And this is for people with Pacific background, people from the islands, indigenous, people with indigenous backgrounds, and the rest. The salary for this one is 4 years. The salary for this one is about 100,000 New Zealand dollars. Yeah. So they give you 100,000 more than, I'm just saying, 100,000 New Zealand dollars research budget. So the next one is Marsden Fund Fast Start Grants. I mentioned a few minutes ago that these people, they have money. This Marsden Fund Fast Start Grants for early career researchers, people that finish PhD less than, below 7 years. So it's give or take, it has to be below 7 years post PhD. The funds are PI led, so principal investigator led projects. People. So as a postdoc, you're going to work under a PI. Of course, many postdocs work under PI, but to get a Marsden grant, you're working together with a PI to either get that fund, apply for that fund, or things like that. You work with a PI to apply for that one. So other opportunities are university opportunities, like I mentioned before, like the University of Otago Science Career Development Fellowship. This one is very juicy, very interesting. 2 years, salary per year is about 92,000 New Zealand dollars per year. So a lot of money goes into postdoctoral fellowships in New Zealand. So all this social media, Twitter or LinkedIn comparison of industry versus academia thing, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. If you're interested in going for a postdoc, just put your mind to it. Another thing PhD does for you is that it gives you yourself, to know yourself. This is the one that I did not expect. I didn't expect that I was ever going to find myself doing a PhD. In fact, one would think that I'm going to lose myself. One would think that if you hear that somebody is going to a research program, they're like, that person probably lose, themselves. But that's not what it did to me. The PhD has introduced me to a version of myself that I do not fully know, existed. See this, me on camera right now, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Now, I thought about starting a podcast as early as 2020 during the pandemic. For one, I didn't even know what it was called. Secondly, when I knew what it was called, I didn't think I would be that person that will sit in front of a camera, or that person whose voice I will allow to be out there. I didn't think I was that person. But look, I'm here right now. This is a version of Rhoda who can hold uncertainty without flinching. Right now, I don't know how next month in my recruitment journey is going to be. There is something in my calendar I thought I was going to start next month. But right now, I don't know how it's going to be. But I'm not flinching. Right now, I can receive critique without collapse. My supervisor can tell me anything now, and I'm okay with it. I can build something slowly, carefully, over years, without that rush of, let's do it now, let's put it in the market, now, let's do it now, that dopamine heat of quick wins. I can actually sustain it. I can actually hold it, so that I now believe in the value of whatever it is I'm building. Now, this person has always been inside of me. It's just that this process drew her out. I don't know if that's worth it for you, right? But only you can decide that. Like I said, depends on you. But for me, it's worth it. with full knowledge of the cost, yes, it's worth it. With my full chest, this program is worth it for me. If not for anything, it helped me find this version of Rhoda I do not take for granted. So let me get practical for a moment before I finish or something. Because I think that the most useful thing I can do in this episode is to give you a genuine framework for making this decision. If you're about either making it or you're considering leaving, or you're still in the middle of it, you should seriously consider a PhD. If you have a question that you cannot leave alone, you have, that question that existing literature doesn't adequately answer, of course, and you think you are dedicated enough to give out years of your life into understanding that question, you are genuinely comfortable with not knowing something, you are comfortable with being wrong most of the time, you're comfortable with revising, editing, and being criticized, you have a clear sense of how the credential connects to what you're building. Specifically, you have, and especially a support system, you have that support system that can carry some weight while you carry the PhD. You see this one, especially for immigrant people. You have a support system. Be able to say, you carry this, I carry my PhD. Or you carry this one, I need to do this for this PhD. I'm not going to go into that today, maybe some other time. But support system, accept. People want to clean your house for you, agree. People want to help you look after your kids, agree. People want to help you financially, agree. This is not the time to be proud and say at my age, some people should not, or some person should not be helping me. No, accept it. You need all the help that you can get in this process. So let's start with a scholarship, and the scholarship that most domestic and even international students will come across first if you're searching for scholarships in New Zealand, and that is the University Doctoral Scholarship. University of Auckland Doctoral Scholarship, Victoria University of Wellington Doctoral Scholarship. I guess I don't know if they have a name. Otago has their own. AUT, Auckland University of Technology Doctoral Scholarship. So the university doctoral scholarships might be called different names in different universities, but then they are available. Before you say, okay, Rhoda said there's money in New Zealand, look, these scholarships are limited. So now another important detail is that when you apply to the University of Auckland, and I'm always saying the University of Auckland because this university is so sweet, and they're the biggest in New Zealand. So if you're coming to New Zealand, especially as a health personnel, you have some little, health background, you're a doctor, you are a pharmacist, you're a nurse, come look towards the University of Auckland first. I'm not saying there are no other universities, but look towards the University of Auckland first. Yeah, so when you apply for the admission, you are automatically considered for the doctoral scholarship of the University of Auckland. So there's no separate application for that. And that's why when I advise people, when you're lodging in your application for the first time, go in with everything you have. Don't say, okay, I'll wait first, and later on, I'll now, when they request, I'll now submit the documents. If you're watching this from outside of New Zealand today and you're wondering whether PhD is in New Zealand is financially realistic, it is. And I'm speaking to you directly today. The good news is New Zealand has actively over the years built pathways for international doctoral students. They love you guys. They love international doctoral students. And I think since 2005, the government has offered international PhD students domestic fee rates rather than international fee rates. So say if domestic fee, tuition fee per year of a PhD program is $9,000 per year. As an international student, you are going to pay $9,000 per year. That is for people who do not secure scholarship. So it's not like other countries where, say, domestic fee will be 9,000, and international PhD students will be paying 35,000. No, it's different. That's the leverage New Zealand has over other countries. And that's why we keep shouting, come to New Zealand for your PhD. Come to New Zealand for your PhD. Yeah, that's one thing they've done. And we're really appreciative of that. For some of us are really thankful to the government of New Zealand for that. So it's not simply lacking confidence, like some people think it is. It's not that you're not qualified. You're really qualified. And it's not that you're not confident in your skills, right? It's a very specific personal experience. That is what imposter syndrome is. And it's, that feeling that your accomplishments are the result of your luck and timing and other people's generosity. Now, that will take me to a story. Sometime like last year. So I met up with this girl, a Black lady like me, African lady like me. And then she was talking, and then something along the lines of DEI, this DEI employment, where companies or organizations hire people to show diversity in their employment relations. Yeah. So according to her, most organizations will hire people or will hire some specific people. I don't want to name names, and this is not about racism now. Most organizations will hire those people because of DEI, and that's her own belief. Now, this is someone that I'm sorry to say, she's going to see this video. She'll know it's about her. But I'm sorry to say, but this is someone that doesn't even know. She doesn't even have a hold of something. She doesn't even have a plan. Where she was that day was as a result of another person's generosity. So it's not as if she could fund that travel she did that last year on her own. This is a person talking down on other people. Even if it was DEI hire, even if you were hired based on other people's generosity or based on DEI, I'm telling you, DEI will not just bring you in. The organizations will not just bring you in if you're not nearly perfect for that role. I digress. So whether it's a chance, whether it's an act of chance or luck, I'm telling you that you're confident. You are enough for that role. You are enough for that position. And that's why you're there. Now, all these things are now combined with, that silent, ongoing fear, that you would eventually be found out, in quotes. That is the concept of building your own platform, using your expertise as an income stream. I'll probably bring someone that have done this on this podcast to share more. But here's the thing. You are, by definition, becoming one of the almost knowledgeable person in the world on a specific topic, in a specific niche, right? That expertise has value outside of the four walls of your thesis. But most doctoral students never package it as anything beyond the dissertation itself. This is exactly why I actually started Rhoda360. It's not instead of my research. It's not me running away from my research. I'm building it alongside it. Every episode I make, every piece of content that I build is not a distraction from my PhD. In a strange way, it's actually building or strengthening the same skills that I'm gaining from my PhD. That includes communication skills, communicating complex ideas clearly, building an audience that trusts your perspective, translating expertise into something usable for people outside your specific bubble, for people outside of your academic world. I'm not saying every doctoral student needs to build a podcast or start a YouTube channel. No, I'm saying that think about what you know that other people will pay for, either right now, before you finish, or in the future. Tutoring outside the university in your specialist area, one, freelancing, editing in your field, consulting, even informally, for organizations who need exactly the niche knowledge you're acquiring. It's not just to put money in your pocket immediately, but to build a CV that you can use in the future. A newsletter, content like this, very important. You know, the traditional side hustle advice treats your time as a generic resource, right? To sell a generic thing that you can just sell by the hour. I'll push you to think differently today. Once that income stream that compounds gets more valuable the longer you do it, rather than trading hours for dollars indefinitely. Once that thing, it's like that long-term thing that you can do, the more valuable it becomes for you and for everything about you. Think about it. Sit with it and think about it entirely. Those are the kind of skills, the kind of hustles you should begin to build now.